Today, I want to look at contributing to open source software. You probably use a lot of open source software, things like Tailwind CSS, Vite for front-end development, maybe even Tan Stack Router. A lot of these projects are contributed to by people of the community. If you look, there's a lot of contributors to these different projects. When you're looking at a code base like this on GitHub, there's a few different ways that you can contribute. A lot of times there's documentation updates, or you can get into the weeds and actually implement new features that you want as a developer. A good place to start anytime you're looking in an open source project is go to this Issues tab, and as you can see, there's a lot of things here. One thing you want to look for is if they have good labels. So labels are things that some of the admins can go in and put on certain tickets when they've read through them. One thing to look for is this good first issue. There may not be a lot, but if you go look here, it may be a really good place to start for how to contribute to an open source project that you want to jump into. Today, I'm going to go through the full life cycle of contributing to an open source project. I'm actually going to do it with this app that I have used quite a bit to get SVGs. So I'll show you how the application works. It's an open source project. They have this big submit logo button, GitHub. You can go in and you can find different logos, and you can simply copy the SVG. You can download a certain logo. You can look at wordmark logos. You can search for your own logo that you want to find and download it. So it's really convenient to be able to use a logo when you're, drawing something up in TLDraw or ExcaliDraw, paste it into your app in some way. And so some of these brands will also have their own brand kits. So if we look at GitHub, for example, you can jump into their brand kit page and it'll show you how they want people to use the GitHub brand. So for this, I'm going to actually go straight to the GitHub repo. I'm going to look at submitting a logo. This will take me to the getting started. So what you want to do whenever you're going to contribute, you want to look for some kind of contribution guide. Sometimes it'll be posted right in the README. This one doesn't have one, but submitting a logo took me straight to this getting started. So what we want to do is fork this repo, install the dependencies, add the new logo, and then we can create a pull request to come back. So let's get started by forking this repo. We'll only copy the main branch. It's going to get all set up. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to jump over to my terminal and I'm going to clone this repo. I'm going to go over here, git clone, copy the repo in, and then I'm going to navigate into this. And so part of the contribution guide said install dependencies, and then I'm going to actually just go ahead and run. I'm going to open this up in a code editor, and then we can see everything going on in here. So I'm going to run pnpm dev to start this up. Now I can jump to the local development environment. So I'm running the app locally. What I want to do is I actually want to install ingest logo in here. So ingest does not exist in here already. Couldn't find the icon. So I can either request it or submit it. I'm going to go ahead and submit this logo. So I'm going to go through here, look to see if they have some kind of brand guidelines. And they do not have any brand kits that I can find in here. And so I'm actually going to view their project, and I'm going to go see if they have a logo that we can use. So looking through logos, they've got a ingest logo as an SVG. That's great. So I will download that and I will use that. Just jump into this SVG file and we add a new item. So I'm going to duplicate this one that's here. I'm going to call this ingest. It's just categorize it as software ingest.com. Now I've prepared the logo. I actually have a dark and a light version of the logo. So I'm going to copy one of these other ones, paste it in here, ingest light and ingest dark. So let's make sure that we're putting our logo in the right place. I'm going to jump to this other logo. I'm going to copy mine in. And if I save all this and I jump back to my local version of this that's running, now I've got one more logo added in here. Let's see how it looks. Ingest. Looks like I reversed those. So I've got my logos added, the light and the dark SVG, and let's go search for it, ingest. There we go. And if we switch to light mode and dark mode, we can see it switches to the correct SVG. So everything looks good. I added a logo, and now let's go ahead and get this all committed. So I'm going to check out a new branch, and I'm going to call this ingest logo. I'm going to add all my files and git commit adding ingest logo. So let's push that up and we'll create a new pull request here. So it actually knows that I want to go back to the main repository rather than my own. And let's see how I should set this up. I'm going to go ahead and fill this out. And let me preview that, make sure it all looks correct. Great, I will create that pull request. Now, the pull request has been created, and so it goes into the queue with any other pull requests that are outstanding, and this will hopefully eventually get merged, and then I can use it directly in the svgl app, or I also use the Raycast extension to look at logos, so I can find the Stripe logo like this. Ingest is not here yet, but hopefully it will be soon. And that is how we walk through contributing to an open source project. The big things to keep in mind with that are look at the contributing guide, make sure you follow all the steps in their README and contribution guides. So to recap what we did, we were actually looking at a project that we use, realized it was open source and that they were accepting contributions. So we went and checked out all the different contribution guides that they had. We forked their code, made the changes, and then submitted a pull request back. Now that is open to the community to get merged in, and hopefully it'll be merged in soon. I hope this encourages you to go contribute back to open source projects that you use and that you care about. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for checking it out.